Hello, Ward family. My name is Ruth Stowers, and I'm one of the Sunday school teachers for our ward. Brother Hersher and I decided that we would make a video for each of the Sundays that we would be teaching, so this week is my turn. And one of the things that I love about the Book of Mormon is that it's full of detailed accounts of some of the people that are mentioned. And as we read the stories of their lives, we kind of get to know them a little bit. We get to feel what they may have been like, and we get to understand their characters. And this week's lesson in Mosiah 1 through 3 introduces to us a man called King Benjamin. Now, King Benjamin, if I can get my, here we go. King Benjamin, he was a king over the Nephites in Zarahemla, and he was loved by his people. It's very evident to me that he was loved. And just like Nephi, I wanted to start out with a character analysis of King Benjamin from the first 3 chapters that we were studying this week. So some of the characteristics that I pulled out for King Benjamin are that he was just, he was wise, he was humble, he was righteous, he was a teacher, he was respectful, and he was hardworking and a servant. Now, he wasn't just a little bit righteous. He was so righteous that an angel appeared to him and taught him about Jesus Christ in his life. And the main character trait that I felt like I wanted to pull out was that he was hardworking and he was a servant to his people. Now, in chapter 2 of Mosiah, he actually tells his people 7 times that he spent his life serving them. And he also said that he didn't do it to boast, but he did it so that it was an example to them, so that he could teach them that when he was in the service of his people, he was actually in the service of God, and he wanted them to do the same thing. He wanted them to serve each other, and in so doing, they would be serving God. Now, the reason I wanted to start out with a character analysis is to introduce you to a theme that I wanted to have during this year's study. And that is that each person we read about has talents, gifts, and experiences that are tailored to shaping certain character traits. Nephi, we kind of covered in one of my lessons, and we all agreed that one of his main character traits was that he was obedient. Isaiah, he was a great seer and revelator. Enos, he was mighty in prayer. And King Benjamin, it seems like he was a really hardworking person. And each of these is an example of the characteristics of Jesus Christ. And they can point us to Jesus Christ. And that's the whole point of the Book of Mormon, is that it's a witness of Jesus Christ. And as we learn about these people, as we learn about these prophets, we can learn more about Jesus Christ, learn more about Jesus Christ's character, and some of the things that we don't necessarily learn from the stories of Jesus Christ's life in the New Testament. So one of the things that King Benjamin taught his people is that through the atonement we can put off the natural man and we can develop saint-like attributes or characteristics. And there's actually a quote in this week's Come Follow Me manual that I really loved, and it's by David A. Bednar, and it says, and just pull it up there, it is the atonement of Jesus Christ that provides both a cleansing and redeeming power that helps us to overcome sin, and a sanctifying and strengthening power that helps us to become better than we ever could by relying only upon our own strength. The infinite atonement is for both the sinner and the saint in each of us. And I love that because we often think about the atonement and we think about repentance, we think about sins and forgiveness, but we don't always think about how the atonement allows us to be better than we are, to help us to develop those characteristics that Jesus Christ himself developed. And so I wanted to just bring your attention to the fact that you have this opportunity as well. It's not just something that we read about in the scriptures. We have our whole lives where we can learn and grow and change for the better, and we can put off that natural man and develop these characteristics that will help us to become more like Jesus Christ and point other people to him. So the theme that I have has two questions that I wanted to pull out. The first one is, what set of character traits is the Lord developing in you through your talents, gifts, and experiences? And the second question is, what character traits would you like to develop through experiences and choices in the future? And I think that character traits can definitely be changed out here for gifts of the Spirit. And we can learn about the gifts of the Spirit in many different places, but in Doctrine and Covenants 49, we do learn about the gifts of the Spirit, and we're told that we need to seek ye earnestly the best gifts, but also to give thanks unto God in the Spirit for whatsoever blessing you are blessed with. So as we are thinking about the character traits that the Lord is developing in us, or has been developing in us in our lives, we can be grateful, or we should be grateful for those, but also we need to think of, well, in the future, what do I want to develop? And I think those are really important questions. And as I've been thinking about these two questions throughout the year, as I've been planning to introduce this theme to the class, I've been really surprised, maybe not be the best word, but surprised is what I'm going to use. I've been really surprised with just which character traits my life has been developing in me through the experiences that I've had. Both the challenges and the blessings all seem to come together in quite specific ways to develop the same character trait over and over and over again. And that may be because I just don't learn it the first time, and it just needs to be kind of refined a little bit. But in your life, what have you been developing? And these are very personal things, so I don't expect for you to share them with us. But this is something that I wanted to ask you and for you to think about as you study the scriptures and as you learn about these prophets, learn about these good people who are emulating Jesus Christ. How are you emulating Jesus Christ? What what character traits are you developing? So that's it for this week, and hopefully you'll be thinking about these. And at the end of the year, I would love to have part of a lesson be where we share maybe not super personal things, but in a general sense, some of the character traits that the Lord has been developing in us and how that has helped to point us and also other people towards Jesus Christ. I hope you are all well, and I will see you or make another video for you in about a month.